guys, it's Heather from Hogs and Hens Urban Farm, and I'm here with a teeny tiny little PSA for you. You know, as we design and plant things in our gardens, one of the things as a permaculturist we do is it's earth care, people care, and fair share, right? And things that I've noticed recently, I've seen a lot of people talking about some plants that do in fact have amazing things to offer to the community, right? There's a million and one things that these plants can do for you. However, that doesn't always mean that they are something that you should plant. I'm going to show you a couple of examples, right? Does anybody know what this is right behind me? That would be bamboo, right? Why is there bamboo growing right here in the state park in Arkansas? Well, that's because the person that lives behind us at this campground has planted bamboo on their property. The problem with bamboo is it spreads via rhizomes. So anytime you're planting something that spreads via rhizome, you need to be really careful about where you're planting it, because there's a beautiful privacy fence here, right? And that does a great job of blocking things like the dog that has been barking all night over there from coming out into the campground. What it doesn't do is prevent the rhizomes from popping up on the other side of the fence. And if you've never seen bamboo shoots, let me show you something. These bamboo shoots are sharp. They will grow anywhere. They will grow through things. They can pierce all kinds of things. They cause so much damage. So if you're going to plant a crop that can become invasive and that spreads via rhizome, you need to be really careful about your control measures. You can do things like planting something around it as a border, underground borders. But even still, you have to be careful because some things have super deep and far-reaching roots. So bamboo is not something that I recommend that anybody ever grow unless you're growing it into a container. Yes, it is a renewable resource. Yes, it's great for fiber. You can use it for building and all kinds of wonderful things. Cane poles for fishing. There are lots of applications, but unless you are actively, constantly harvesting it, it pops up everywhere. And this fence row has clearly been sprayed with stuff because there is nothing else that is alive in this. And yet, even though it has clearly been processed with something, because there is no reason this would otherwise be this barren when everything else around me is lush and bright and green, but this area has clearly been treated with something, and yet the bamboo is persisting, right? So just be very mindful of what you're planting and where, and be mindful of how that may affect other people in your community. How is that going to affect you when you're gone, right? So if I plant bamboo at my property and then 10 years from now I move out, maybe I was constantly harvesting and using that bamboo, but when I move out, are the new homeowners going to know what they have to do? And are they going to be willing to get rid of it? Because it can also affect your home value. Because if somebody knows that they're going to have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to dig out their entire yard to get those root fragments out, they may be less inclined to buy your home. So keep all these things in mind and stay tuned for more tips.